This is Goshen Athelion, and I am going to teach you how to play Starmade. We recently opened a Starmade server, and we had a lot of questions about how to get started, and I've done it a lot of times because I love the beginning game. So let's get started. So for you first log in, when you press I, you're going to see that you have several things in your inventory. Helmet, if you like to role play, you can use that. If not, I just chuck it. Logbook, I chuck as well. So then we get started. So first thing we're going to do, this is a shop. This is the pink indicator here. It is a shop. You're going to hit I for inventory. You're going to drag all of this stuff off of here, and well, laser you want to keep. You want to keep these hand weapons, and just sell off all this junk you don't need, because there is a starter ship that you already seen power modules. The starter ship. So when I right click on this blueprint, it brings up a blueprint that's already filled. So the blueprint, typically you have to click on add all every time you have the objects in your inventory, and it'll fill blueprints. But this is already filled for you. So let's go ahead and spawn this in. Let's call it Explorer Z. Okay, now from the shop we're going to need a few things before we get headed out of here. We're going to need a faction module, some reactors, and we can buy more than that. Good. Okay, so 40. Reactors aren't that as important if we do a space station start, which we're going to do. If you want to get started quickly, you can buy basic factory. Let's just type factory. We can buy an advanced factory, a standard factory, some factory enhancers to speed things up, a capsule refinery, and a microassembler. Those are the things you'll need to get started. You can make those. If we're doing a planet start, I would be showing you how to make those instead of buying them, but we're just going to buy them. It's faster. We have a bunch of credits. Might as well use them. The other thing we can buy that would be helpful are salvage modules. I can buy quite a few of those. Let's go ahead and get 100. No way. Okay, 400. Wow, nice. All right, and maybe we will buy some of them with cannon barrels back. Those are way more expensive than salvage modules. Okay, so we spent all our money. Let's get in our ship and take off. So if you want to know where your ship is, press N. If you sort by mass, you can see some things on here. Explorer Z. We click on it. That means it's going to select it. So we have a white indicator. Ta-da! There it is. So the white indicator means that's what you've selected. That's what you're looking for. So this is our Explorer. This is courtesy of a gentleman on Starmade dock who built this. I did a little bit of modifications to make it more powerful, meaning I added a radar jammer. I made it so when you spawn in the ship, it automatically sets these anti-missile turrets to active and turret, not ship. And I also I moved the jump drives around. It had two sets of jump drives, and they're both equally moduled, and that doesn't make sense. So I made all the modules except for one on the main jump drive. All right, so faction module. What is that? Well, we want to create a faction. So go to faction, options, create faction. We're going to call this Streamers Alliance. Now, once you've made a faction, there's a few options in here. You can declare war on hostile action. That means if anybody shoots you, it automatically will declare war on them. I recommend you do that. Consider enemies neutral. You would do that if you were like role-playing a Reaver faction or pirates. I wouldn't want to start with everybody as an enemy, because if you do that, then every time you fly by a base, I recommend you do that. Consider enemies neutral.
Oh,
you would do that if you were like
hello.
There's my stream. Every time you fly by their base that's in range, they'll blow you out of the sky. So I wouldn't do that. Public faction, that would mean if you want to make a public faction that anybody could join without having to have invite, you would click that. There's some faction points. We'll go over those later. If you want to invite your friends, you click on invite player and you type in their name exactly as it shows, upper and lowercase. And you go. So we've created a faction. Now we're going to access this faction module. We want to enter faction signature. That basically makes it so nobody can get in my ship and take off with it. That's a good thing to do in spawn. I wouldn't recommend. Actually, the other thing I should have showed you is you don't want to spawn your ship right in spawn. You're going to like fly away a little bit and then spawn your ship. We don't need thrusters. Do we have enough to buy one thruster? We better buy at least one thruster module. Let's sell some salvage modules because you always want to have a core, a power reactor, and a thruster at all times, because if you get stranded off your ship for some reason, you're going to want to have those so you can fly back to your ship quickly. Alright, so we've got our ship factioned. Now we can get into it. So this is the core. We aim at it and press R. That gives it our ship. Now, first thing you see is really confusing. This is your build mode. This means you can fly around the ship and change things really easily, quickly. It's really nice to do. But to get out of this, you hit spacebar. That puts you in the cockpit. Now, if you want a different view, this is a cool view, a very good, nice role-playing view. If you want a different view, you're going to hit the right arrow key on your keyboard. That's going to cycle through the different cameras on the ship. I happen to like this one. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, we've got a radar jammer here. I'm going to activate the radar jammer. Then I'm going to pull up the map here. Now this system, this starter system, is claimed by the server. So we don't want to mine or do anything in here because you won't get a mining bonus. So what you're going to want to do is get out of the system. Now, if I hit left and right arrow keys, it's going to move me around inside this map. It's really confusing to move around at first. If you hold the middle mouse button, it's going to move it around like this, so you can see different angles. If you hold down Shift and hit D, ASDF, you know, the WADS, WADS, it's going to move you around quickly. So we're going to scout out a system that has some nice planets. And 1, 2, 3, that's got 4 planets. That's pretty good. And it's really close to spawn, which I like. So I'm going to jump here. Now, if we were doing a planet start, I would jump straight to the planet. Now, we're not doing a planet start. Well, I want to try a station start, because I always do planet starts, and I hate the gravity. So we're going to go to this undiscovered station. So I double-clicked on the undiscovered station. I click plot path to current. Now, if I hit escape and hit N, my waypoint is set for that station. Now, we don't want to jump right in the heart of the station, so we're going to take one number off this. So instead of 2325, we're going to 2324. And that's going to jump us a little way away. Now, first thing, make sure, go down to radar jammer and make sure that thing is on. If it is ghosted like this, it's on. If it's not, it's off. So we're going to turn it on. That's going to help keep the pirates from being able to shoot you or lock on missiles. So I'm going to jump drive. You charge it with left mouse button. It's already charged. Set in the top right corner. Jump drive charged. You hit a right mouse button and bam, we are. It says not in range, so it's going to jump. Now, one thing I neglected to show you just now is you always want to hit P and move around and look where your path is. See this line coming from my ship and going up to our waypoint? That line, you want to make sure does not go through the middle of the unit, this system, because there's a sun there and it will burn you up. Not necessarily your ship, it could still stay there for a while, but it will burn you up, and if you don't jump out fast enough, you'll be dead. Charging the jump drive with the radar jammer on takes up all the power, so we're just going to turn off the radar jammer, charge the jump drive, go back to the radar jammer, make sure it's on, and jump. Still not in range. So let's take a look around. We're almost there. So I'm going to turn off the jump drive again, turn off the radar jammer, excuse me, and charge the jump drive. Turn radar jammer back on and jump. Now, while I'm jumping, I'm holding left mouse button because I'm charging that jump drive before we even get there. I want to know, hey, look what we discovered. We discovered a shop. There is a shop right there. That's pretty cool because shops are a valuable resource later when you've got stuff to sell. However, that's not what we're after. That's just a nice side benefit of traveling. Shops generate as you travel, so you're not going to, if you, like when we opened the map, we didn't see it, but as we travel, okay, jump ins range. This is the exciting part. Okay, what do we get? And it's a derelict delta. I honestly didn't plan this, I promise. It was just there. So if we hit N, there's nothing on radar, so we can safely turn off our radar jammer, fly towards this, charge our jump drive. The max speed on Prospercraft currently is 300, which is nice. It's a nice refreshing change if you're used to playing alone at 75. So as soon as I get that message in the top right corner that the jump drive is charged, I'm going to let off the charging because it's going to drain the batteries if I don't. Alright, so we got a delta. Station, derelict, delta, decayed. Decayed means that anything you place on the station is going to instantly decay and you can't get it back. Anything you try to harvest or take apart from the station is going to just turn into scrap, which is valuable, but not as valuable as the components. So you don't want to be attaching a lot of turrets. Well, turrets might actually not decay, but nothing you care about. So this is a delta. This is a role-playing ship basically that's lost in space, and you find it and it's been blown apart, and it's pretty cool. I don't know if it's necessarily where I want my station per se. Yeah, it's got an old style docking module. It needs to be updated with a new style dock. Yeah, this is cool, but we're gonna move on. All right, so we're going to re-engage that radar jammer. We're going to pick a new one. Let's move to this guy right here. So we're going to plot the current, hit N. We're going to take a number off, go to 8, and jump. Charging jump drive. You don't want to completely... Oh, yay. It's another... Oh, this could not have been better. It's an ETA, an ETA. This is my favorite because it has turrets. See how it says station derelict ETA? There are others on here. All these others are turrets. And that is pretty cool. This is exactly what I wanted. This is a neat looking station too. Really amazing station. So I'm going to turn off. Yep, there's nothing in here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the radar jammer and charge the jump drive as we fly towards this. Now the second jump drive on the hotbar, that is there in case you make a mistake. If you jump right into a pirate station or into someone else's firefight or sun, you can instantly hit number 2 on your keyboard and bam, jump out of there and get free. The other thing on your hotbar here is a scanner. If we run this scanner, it's going to say there's a cloaked jamming entity in the sector. Don't worry about that. That's just going to be, it's just a bug currently. And that scan data, if you hit N and go to scan history, it's going to show you information about the area you're in. It says this is unclaimed. There's no mining bonus because it's not claimed. If we were to claim the territory and own it, we get a mining bonus, which is pretty cool. All right, so let's hit C. I hit C, and that lines me up with the universe, basically. And pretty cool station. I mean, check this thing out. That is pretty neat. So those two are turrets right there. And there's a ginormous turret right there. Check that thing out. If nothing else, you could just hop in that thing and put some thrusters on it and fly it around as your first ship. It's a giant turret. Yeah, pretty cool. So there's a few ways into this thing. If you go to this one, now I moused over the ship core, that's 0, and if you right click, it's going to open doors. Left click, close doors. So there's a pretty cool docking area in there. Let's go ahead, there's another entrance over here. I've never actually gone into this entrance. In the past when I've lived on stations, it's been in the other. There's a little dock right there. Cute. What's this go to? This is another entrance into that docking area in there. And this one, what is this? Okay. Can't say I've seen that part of the station. So let's go ahead and get inside this thing. Zoop, 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 zoop. So I assume you know how to move. I'm hoping W is forward, S is back, Q is down, and E is up. Holding down Shift slows your ship, which is very helpful when you're trying to do maneuvers, especially if you put yourself on a very small... There we go. I don't know if this fits in here. Let's find out. Maybe just barely. Let's go into build mode and take a look. Nope, that is definitely not fitting in there. All right. Well, let's pull up out here and go claim it. So we hit R to get out. Now you'll see this. It says exit. Do you really want to do that? Your current speed is 0. Now the reason why it says that is because in the options, general, I turned it on pop-up detach warning to 0, which means anytime I hit R, it's going to ask me, do you really want to get out of your ship? And the nice thing about that is if you're flying really fast and you try to go up and you mistakenly hit R instead, it's going to ask you, do you really want to do that? And you're just like, no, actually I don't. Thank you for asking. All right, so pretty cool. So this is the hangar here. Let's go ahead and go further in. We're in astronaut mode now. Gonna open a door. Open another door. Yeah, see, this is one reason why it's nice to take over a station. This station has the potential to store 21 million power. And it has a little bit of shielding. So let's go ahead and claim this sucker. So what we can do here is just place the faction module. I'm going to throw it right here. Now I got the warning in the top right corner. It says the station infrastructure decayed. You won't be able to pick that back up. That's fine. So I hit the R. I hit enter faction signature. Now this station is mine. Now if I hit R and take control of the system, and R make home faction. Now if we go to P and zoom out, look at that. We own this entire system, all of its planets and goodness, and a shop that we found earlier. So this is our station, our system. So that is the first step. Now, what next step we need to do here is we take our factories and place them. So what I'm going to do, let's see, what's behind here? More armor. Okay, well, we can do away with this armor then. We don't necessarily need this right here. Okay, so I'm going to place, that made it a little brighter, I like that. So see that stuff we got? We got scrap composite from harvesting that. And scrap alloy. So let's go ahead and place a basic factory, the standard factory, and the advanced factory. They all look the same in this weird light, but that's going to be okay. Now we picked up some factory enhancers, so what we can do with those is just set them off to the side here. Now factory enhancers make factories work faster, which is the cool thing about factory enhancers. So I'm just going to throw those right there, like that. One thing I forgot to pick up, and if you're watching this and you haven't left yet, pick up a build block. You're going to want a build block. Some stations have them, some don't. We also need to place our capsule refinery and our microassembler. The capsule refinery and microassembler. Microassembler, what it does is it takes this scrap composite, and when you put it in there, it turns it into the stuff you can actually use. Now let's talk about linking. To link these together, so say like I want to make something out of here, I'm going to hit C and hit V on the thing. So now it has access to these inventories. So by linking this, and these, they will be able to pull from their inventories. So say if I pulled something out of this, or told this something to make it, and it has the raw materials in here, it'll be able to. Now, one thing that's nice about a build block is, say if I had a build block, I could go through and go deep into the station and core out a bunch of stuff out of it and get a bunch of scrap materials to throw inside of here to make a bunch of this crystal composite alloy mesh. All right, so that is the basics of getting started. So we've got a home base now. We have a system claimed, and we're ready to get mining. So let's go ahead and hold it there, and that'll be end of episode 1. We will catch you next time when we start salvaging. Thanks for watching. This is Goshen from the server Prospercraft, and we will see you next time.